All right, so today's the day we're going to install the Kemimoto signal and horn kit for the KRX1000. They don't come with signals or a horn from the factory, sadly enough. It would be pretty cheap for the manufacturer to do that, but I guess not. Anyways, we'll be going to the States quite a bit. So down there in some states you need the signals and the horn. In Canada, in Ontario, we don't. We can use hand signs, which is kind of weird, but like I said, for the cost of installing them on each vehicle, the factory, for what you're paying for these things, they should all have signals. But anyways, alas, it does not. So I choose the Kemimoto one because it was reasonably priced, and it is the bare minimum. Then that's, if it's just, I'm not looking for fancy signals in my headlights and disco type things, you know what I mean? So I just want to be legal, and that kit was just under $200 Canadian, and it had the actual signal lever for the steering wheel. So I didn't want to do push buttons or little switches for the signals. That would be barely legal, but I did want to have actually a signal lever on the steering column. But anyways, before I start today's installation, we will look at what came in the mail today. All right, so we've got the Kemimoto signal and horn kit it's a universal kit for all makes. It basically gives you signals, a signal switch, a lever on your dash, and the lights that you require. So today we are going to install that and check out what's in the box. So we got our horn, single horn. This is a low-cost kit, and I personally bought it so that I'm legal in the United States. In Canada, like I said, we don't need signals or a horn for an off-road vehicle to be able to ride it on the road, but in a lot of the states you do. And I don't know why these things don't just come from the factory. Like, how much really would it add to the cost of already an expensive machine to put signals on it? So my interest in this was just the bare minimum to be legal. So it looks like we've got our signals. I'm gonna guess they've given you 6 for 2 for the front, 2 for the back, and 2 for the dash. Or maybe I might stick 4 on the back. I don't know. Because, you know, being a motorcyclist for 30 years, running down the highway with your signal on is common. So maybe you do need it in the dash. I don't know. We'll see how I feel when the time comes. Some sort of magnet strip, some sort of bracket. This would be for the horn, I guess. Mount that horn. I got a fuse, 10 amp fuse. This is going to be probably to tie the signal. So you've got your, like a big truck, signal switch. This is why I bought this kit. There's your 4 ways, off, horn, all-in-one control on your steering column. I just find that better. There's cheaper kits that have just the rubber button, like a lever for signals left and right. That's bare bones. This is a little bit above bare bones. So that looks like your signal relay, or yeah, I'm going to say signal relays for right and left. Yeah, it's got right, horn, left. So that looks like your wiring kit, labeled. So let's unravel this. Any type of wiring is my least favorite job mechanically. But when the kits come like this, already to go, you pretty much, without calling myself an idiot, it's idiot proof. I'm gonna say. So that looks like your signal and horn. Yeah, maybe the front wiring harness. And this looks like longer to reach the rear. Well, maybe they want you to put 4 lights in the back, because there's 4 plugs. So maybe I was wrong. I thought they would be for the dash, but maybe it's the rear. You can do 4 lights in the back. 2 at the side, maybe, I don't know. So yeah, let's no, it looks like there's 2 short ones. Maybe for the dash, maybe that's what it's for. 2 short ones and 2 really long ones for the back, and then here's 2 for the front, and instructions. Probably should look at them. maybe. But yes, Universal Kit, it's just showing you a random UTV. And then some hardware here. We'll figure out what that is. So let's get, I'm gonna say let's mount this first, see what happens. All right. All right, so I decided to tackle the front first. So what we got here is the bracket and mounting screw for the horn. Just looking at the front, I gotta screw that in and then run wires to it. So I gotta be able to easily access it. Let's go over here. So on my machine, we've got the front apart right now. Let me just get you down there. So the front is just now, where's a suitable place to mount this? I should look maybe online at other people, but I'm trying to find something that's metal, but everything's plastic. And somewhere where it would fit and not be in the way of anything else. So yeah, you don't want to put it in front of the radiator. You don't want to, and that's not going to fit. That's not going to fit. Basically, getting it in there where there's mud going to get at it is probably not a good idea anyway. So that leaves us with, in the side here, up in here, it won't be too much in the way. Plus you want it to sound ahead of you. So let me look at a few other places. I'll put you on pause here, look at a few other spots. So I found a hole here in a gusset. There's already a hole there. So without having to drill anywhere, I just figured this was a decent place to be able to hear it. And it is also aimed downward slope. So any water that goes in will naturally drain out. And I use the factory mount. These bolts are metric, that's 10 millimeters, so it's a metric kit. There's not many bolts in it, but just in case someone is wondering. Then there's the two plugs for the wiring. So horn is mounted on the right front underneath the fender, get it so that it can't get, I can turn it a little bit, direct water into it. So that I'm pretty happy with that spot. All right, next job. All right, so we're gonna go to the front signals. We've got these yet insert. Now, right away, I was looking for a spot here, and this little doorway here, just a little piece of plastic. Look at how loose it is. Inside that, there's 3 slip pins. On this side, this one was loose. So I took a socket, and it's just basically a clip. So see how tight that one is? And it's not been pushed in from the factory, or it's worn its way out. But anyways, I think this is a good spot. Right there. It's going to take up all that space, but I think that looks almost natural. Anyways, let's get the drill out and let's start working on that. So it says here to drill 3/4 inch holes. So let's look for our 3/4 inch bit. And just because these sometimes this is 3/4, but my experience with these on plastic, it's going to make a bigger hole than 3/4. So what I'm going to use instead is I'm going to drill it with a small hole and then use this step bit. And basically this last notch is 3/4. So as long as I'm not killing anything on the inside, I'm going to use this right here. These are cheap, Princess Auto or Harbor Freight. You get a pack of 3 for like 10 bucks. Super handy, I use them all the time. And your starter hole. Try to be as much of the center as you can. There we go. Now, step drill. Clean it off. I'm not going to go all the way, I'm going to measure that first. better job than that other bit. All right, so that hole that I drilled is just a hair under 3/4, so I'm going to see if I can get it to be happy with that. And squeeze this in. Better to be too tight than too loose. Okay, there we go. That looks great. Looks like it was meant to be there. And then let's get this box its way in. All right, let's see if I can get you a little bit closer look. That fits nice and tight. So yeah, I would keep measuring the hole, because I thought I would have to go down a bit more, hog that out a bit more to 3/4, but that second or third last stage on that bit worked out to 3/4. So that looks great. Actually, it does. It looks like it's supposed to be. Anyways, I've got the hole on the other side. Let's see if we can get that one in. Let me just extend you guys up a bit. Sorry about the jerkiness. I gotta get another light. I'll put a little bit of spit on that. There you go. That pops in good. Get this a little spit on that too. And yeah, that's nice. It says 3/4, but it's just a hair. To get a nice tight fit, just a hair smaller than that. Well, I'm quite pleased with that. The location, oh, that one's a bit higher than that one, but with mud all over it, who's gonna know? Anyways, there you go. Maybe do a better job measuring. So we're gonna leave that alone, and we're now gonna move to the back. So we've got the front signals, we got the horn in. Let's go to the back. So back here, I was kind of wondering where would be a good spot, but I was thinking up there, but I think that is it. So I gotta see if I can get access to that. I don't know if this thing here comes out. Basically, they're so small, you can pretty much stick them anywhere on any machine, so that's what's nice about them. I know, like I said, there's kits that turn your brake lights into signals, but I was really interested in that. Okay, so from here, you can't reach it, so I'm gonna have to reach it from inside. Yeah, that's a good spot. There's nothing behind it, and we will start the drilling procedure. And there's a wiring harness that we can zip tie the line to, and then on this side, zip tie that line to there as well. Make sure that one, this one here is also clear. Yep, so that's where we're going with these. All right, let me get the drill and we'll get going with that. Somewhere in the center. So I switched to a smaller one. This last land is actually 3/4, because that other one would have, if you a little bit longer, if I'd gone too far, I would have been unhappy. Let's try that. Like I said, I've got one more step to go. Actually got a ruler somewhere. I'm going to say that's one more. Right there. Nice. Look at that. Very snug. So, second last land on that. Oh, this couldn't be simpler. Anyways, let's go over to the other side. See if we can get it in the same spot, roughly. She goes, she goes. Pardon my back. A little bit of spit. Nice. Nice. Done. And that one is a little higher than that one, but hey, it's an off-road vehicle. What do you care? But that'll be nice and visible for sure. Let's get the wiring done and try it out. Oh no, I got to mount the steering column thing. All right, so we've got the first little issue here. This thing is supposed to go around the steering column like that. And this steering column, basically, you've got this piece here that's keeping it from sitting on it. Not a deal killer, but possibly got to run the wire through here. Oh no, you can't. There's that blocks that off there. So I'll figure something out to mount that up like that. Like this column here doesn't move with the steering wheel, so we got to figure out how to. This thing here is in the way. But anyways, I'll give you a chance to think about it, and we will try to set something up here in a minute. This thing does not want to stay because the wires, under the wire's not connecting anything. Anyways, let me get my head around that for a minute and see what I can come up with. So basically what these instructions are telling you to do is all these little pieces here are used to hang on to that signal. So they want you to take this apart, but yet there's bars already in there. Okay, so let me get this straight. They want this piece facing out. This piece is going like that. And there's a washer. There is no washer. 10. M6 nut. Okay, they give me 2 washers here, but they're not telling me what they're for. But anyways, if you can see that diagram, we got to set this up like that. So these 2 look like they're already inside. I'm going to say they're inside. I'll feed this through. If you can see that. The ones inside are not cooperating anyways. So it goes like this toward the inside. And it's a flat screwdriver, which is basically better to hand thread it by hand. All right, so I got that one started. See, the problem is they're inside there, they're moving, they're loose. So once you find the threading, you can get them in a little bit tighter with your finger. And then flat screwdriver, which we have one here. So the orientation of that is, nope, this way. This looks like what we're doing is putting the thing on to hang on to the hose clamp. It looks like this does not get that tight. You can do this. So once the hose clamp is around it, it should pull on it. I hope. We will both find out together. There we go. Got that going. So let's get this. Oh, this one. This one's going in, but it stops turning right about there. Oh, it just had a burr in it. It's going now. This part's taking longer than I'd like, but once I do it, we'll know how to do it. Alright, so then this goes on like that. Okay, so it looks like just that's it. These are supposed to be loose, I'm going to say. We'll see if it stays loose or not. Alright, so these are from the inside, like that. That's what we got. So now, that's what you got. Step one. Secure 2 fixed blocks to the 2 fixed blocks with the 2 screws. Yep. Attach 2 curved plates to the fixed block and slide them to hold in place. Yep. That's what it looks like there. So okay, we went step 1, 2, and we missed 3. Anyway, step 4. So it's wanting to use that hose clamp on the steering column. I think we can get this to work. I just don't know what these 2 little washers are for. I'm not showing any washers there. All right, so we got the hose clamp now, and that is also flat. I'm going to say, oh, it wants this thing here. This is a anti-scratch thing, I guess, for that. We'll see the point. Oh, so this is actually not up against the steering column, so we might be okay. We might be okay. So let's get this over there and try it. Try it. All right, sit tight. So what I ended up doing is squeezing this into this spot right here, and it's actually forward. So I'm going to use this control panel to help steady it, and then I'm going to tighten this. I'm not going to bother with that rubber steering column protector piece. You know what I mean? Like this isn't anything I'm worried about getting scratched. I guess if you had something, well, I'm not, I guess they have to include that to make people happy. I should have grabbed the socket, because this is blind. All right, it's 7mm. Oh, much easier. Just checking that there's no wiring in there that I'm screwing up. Pinching. Oh, this is really coming together. I didn't think it was going to be this good. Probably should have trimmed off some of the clamp, but the rad clamp didn't quite need that much. Holy, that is anchored. That worked out nice. That really is deceiving, and it does grab onto that column. Something fierce. She ain't going nowhere. Probably use this so you don't over tighten it and strip it. If you use a ratchet, you might pull too hard. anyways, here's the test. So we need to close this door and see if this hits. But it looks like it might be good. Let me get all my crap out of there. Tons of room. Oop. All right, signal is mounted. 4 ways, signal, horn. Nice. Okay, that was better than I expected. All right, next we'll start running wires. So this is a connector to the turn signal. This is the connector indicator lights, right and left. I'm going to say that would be the front. Oh, probably the ones in the dash. Yes. Indicator lights. That's your dashboard indicator light. Then your signal relay, and then indicator light. So this runs to your turning lights. So this is the front and rear. And then this wire is your positive and negative, which I have in my dash to hook up for this for power. Keyed power, I'm hoping. And here's the wire for your horn. So here's your front harness, which goes to your horn, your power, turn signals front and back. So there's right and left inside there. There's three connectors, a common and then 2 positives. And then this one here is your indicator light for your dashboard. So we haven't drilled those holes yet. So I should mount them, and these are your signals. So we're gonna have to stuff all this up inside the dash. It seems complicated, but that's very, very easy. Next, rear turn signals, run that all the way back, right and left. Now, if you come down one side and hit that light right there, this one's not long enough to reach the other side. So you have to kind of junction it in the middle and then take one to one side and one to the other so that you have enough space. Realistically, one should be longer than the other so you could run down the left, but they don't know which side you're going to be running down. So I can understand this, and that's pretty simple hookup to one of these. That's your signals, front and back. So we're going to run this one around the back, just so you understand, and it's clearly marked. You can't screw it up. And then over here, we've got the front harness, which is your plug into there, and then left and right. And they are marked left and right, left and right. So that goes up front. So I'm not gonna film. Maybe I will, and I'll fast forward it. But usually running wires, trying to find the best spot for things to run takes a bit of time. I'm not real small, so it's hard for me to get under the dash. So let me pause it, and because every machine is going to be different, where the best place to run it is going to be, and they give you zip ties to keep things neat. So anyways, we'll run this wiring, and I'll get back to you when I'm done. So another product that I picked up is, this is from Amazon. I will post a link in the description. It's almost so cheap that it's not worth not having it. I've done these little pop clips before with like a pair of pliers or a screwdriver and muck with it, and I've never owned the proper tools for it. But here it is. And I like this one because it's got the one where you have something to push against and you lift it up. So doing the front signals, we're going to be using this little kit. I'm thinking it was like 20 bucks. It wasn't that much. Anyways, I'll post a link in the description for you. And just basically do a real quick demo of how it works. This is new to me too. I've always just popped them off with screwdrivers, and that's not proper. You don't want to do that because you want to reuse them. So this one here looks like, sorry, my face. Basically, this is new for me. There, that's easy. So I don't know if I can get you in a better angle. It's basically like that, Bang, there it comes out, yeah. I've always pulled these out with screwdrivers. I never in my life have had the proper tool. But we gotta remove all of these, get this dash out. So basically, yeah, get yourself some of these. They're not expensive, and as you can see, it works great, and it saves them. You can reuse them, and you're not busting them up and breaking them. So anyways, just an update on that. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm running the wires from underneath the steering column, underneath that hole right there. You can see that hole, everything's gonna come out there, and that's where my fuse box is as well. So, but let's get back to it. I'll bring you back when I've got something to show you. All right, so what I'm gonna end up doing is, you can see right there, there's a hole. That's as big as a drill bit I could fit in there. And I need to open that up twice that size to feed the wires for the horn and the signals through that hole. There is nothing here that I can reach easily. And as you can see right beside it, there's some wiring coming through that Cowie put. So that's as good a place as any. So I have to remove this shock. So yeah, I'll be back with you on that one, but that's what I've run into. Sometimes it's easier just to make your own hole. And but yeah, in order to drill that bigger, I can't get it from underneath the dash. I got to take that shock out. So bear with me. All right, so I got the shock off, and let me see if I can get a light on there. I made that hole to fit both front signals and the horn to come through the front. That's basically what we had to run. And like I said, Kawasaki did their hole right there, so I did mine right beside it. Sometimes it's not worth the effort to try to feed shit through. I've already got the horn is connected, so that's ready to go. I'll switch that if I have it wrong. It shouldn't matter with a horn. It's a positive and a ground to make it noise. I'll switch that if it sounds sick. Anyways, there you go. There's your front wires through the firewall modification. All right, so the wires are run, and I've got plenty extra to reach the front. It's so short, but just when I was using, they give you about 8 black zip ties to tie things up with, and then I realized, I went into my drawer and found these. Hey, look at that, almost a match. So anyways, I'll use these for the rest of the job if they're big enough. Okay, now we're just gonna put that shock back up, and then we'll start working on the back. So I've got the center console out. The center console is like 8 of those push pins. Pull them out with the tool, super easy. Get the console out of the way. You've got access to your bus bar there, hydro bar, and then you've got access to, I'm gonna put my indicators right on top here, just because I think that is the easiest for me to see. I was thinking inside here, but the screen is in the way, the steering wheel's in the way. I think right on top here, right there, you can't go wrong, right and left. So I'm gonna drill those holes, feed that through. Like I said, the front is done. We're gonna hook up the rest, and then the last thing to do after I finish this is the back, but let's do those signal dashboard indicators first. Okay, so running just a bit of a test. I haven't got the back ones done yet, but got the dash indicator on, and all right, cool. And not only that, it has a staging. You go, but if you push it, it stays on. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that, but it's good if you are in a panic and just whack it, then it'll be on. So I think that's good. Yeah, because if someone's gonna drive into you, you wanna hear it, and if your hand slips, at least the horn started. But anyways, there we go with the front. Now I'm just gonna wire the back in. We'll call this a day. I actually wasn't looking forward to the rear part because I always have a hard time figuring out where to take it around a hot motor. But anyways, the far side is running through that wire, and there's the left, and then here's the main wire, and then Kawasaki's got a massive rubber flapper right there. You can fit it through, plenty of room to fit that through. So I just got to tie it up along the factory harness here. Just zip tie that up there, and the back is done. Anyways, the only hard part is to get it along that console. Well, it's not really hard part, but it's just more work to run it down that inside that console to the proper plug. So let me zip up the back here, and then we'll get to that console. So a quick look at that. I've just zip tied it. You see all the green zip ties that I used, and then it runs down, and then zip tied it with a black one, and then it goes into that hole there, and then it comes out right there. You see that? So then I just got to run it along that console and then up to the plug. We're done. All right, so there is the Kemimoto Universal light kit and horn installation on a KRX1000 Kawasaki. I'll just say this one thing. They do not want you to take that center console apart. That was way longer than it should have been. But maybe I should have rotated it down the side panel or something. But yeah, everything was easy until I got to that center console. And that was nasty. Anyways, it's through the center console and it's all hooked up and ready to go. Let me see if I... All right, there's left signal. On the indicator on the dash. Left signal. Right. Right on the dash. Right on the front. And then horn. That is the Kemimoto light and horn installation. Now I am legal in whatever state allows me. All right. Thanks for watching.